Welcome to Flip Lesson 35. We're going to work with a couple new formulas when it comes to understanding word problems better. And so we start by looking at our newest equation, which is going to be larger minus smaller equals a difference. And so we can help to understand how this type of problem works. We start with this idea. Rex is 7 years younger than his sister, Sally. Bert is 12 years old. I don't know why I wrote Bert. It should say Rex is 12 years old. How old is Sally? Let's change that to Rex so this makes some sort of sense. How old is Sally? That's the question we're looking for. And we want to understand how this helps us do this. Now, we have two numbers here that we can look at. We have a 12-year-old Rex, and we have this idea, 7 years younger. All right. Now the 7 years younger is going to fit into our formula as our difference. That's the difference between the two. All right. And now the question is Rex the larger number or the smaller number? Now, of course, it says that Rex is younger than his sister. That would mean that his number is going to be smaller. And so in the end, we're going to have an equation that looks something like this. L minus 12 equals 7. So then if we were going to go and solve this problem then, we're going to rearrange our facts and solve for this. And so to rearrange this, we think about our fact families and the fact that our difference and what we're subtracting by, if we were to add these two together, we're going to get the larger number, right? The largest number is always the first number in a subtraction problem. So if we were going to solve for this, we would actually do 12 plus 7. It's going to give us L. And 12 plus 7 we know is 19, so that equals L. I'm going to write that on the other side so that we can say 19 years old. And we can talk about the fact that Sally is 19 years old. So we use this formula to help us understand this problem. Let's try another one. Nope, we're going right to time. The other equation is going to be very similar. We're going to use subtraction again, and this time we're going to use time. Later minus earlier equals the difference. Now we've worked a little bit with this already, but we want to work a little bit more with it. So our first question is, how many years were there from 1563 to 1729? All right, and so in this case, we're going to take our larger amount, 1729, and we're going to subtract our earlier amount, which would be 1563, because it happened earlier in time, and that's going to give us a D for a difference. All right, and we can rewrite this so it's easy to solve then. So it's 1729 minus 1563. 9 minus 3 is 6. 2 minus 6 can't be done, so we're going to borrow from the 7. That's going to become a 6. This is going to become a 12. 12 minus 6 is also 6. And then 6 minus 5 is 1, and 1 minus 1 is 0. And so the difference is going to be, this is going to equal D. So our difference is going to be 166 years. Let's try another one. Here is a different example of how time works. All right, it says a workday begins at 7:25 a.m. and lunch is at 12:35 p.m. How long is the morning work session? All right, so we're going to use our idea of L minus E equals D. So later minus earlier equals the difference. And once again, we have a 7:25. That's definitely our earlier time. And we have a later time of 12:35. And that's going to give us our difference. And so we have our equation. And from here, then we can solve. And I'm going to rewrite this quick so that we can easily subtract these. And so 5 minus 5 is 0, 3 minus 2 is 1, and 12 minus 5, sorry, minus 7 is 5. And so in the end, we're going to have 5 hours and 10 minutes. And that's going to equal our difference. So we have another example there. All right, so we have these, these different ideas, right? Larger and smaller equals a difference, and then we have earlier, later minus earlier equals a difference. And so I'll leave you with a sample problem working with these two new formulas. Make sure you write an equation first, and then solve, and then write your answer. All right, that is lesson 35.